Come on, everybody. You are on the channel for English for Biology majors, which is brought to you by Tzu Chi University's Susan Ye. We hope after you learn this class, you will think biology is fun and to read biology book is piece of cake. Let's go, yay! Hello, everyone. Today we are going to learn the last part of our lesson, which is also the third part of lesson 25. Finally, we've reached the end of this course, but first, we still need to review what we learned last time. For huge, we could use giganto, G-I-G-A-N-T-O, this prefix to describe. As for large, we could use macro, M-A-C-R-O, mega, M-E-G-A, and megalo, M-E-G-A-L-O. And macro and mega also have numeric meanings. And the same prefix, macro, can be used to describe things that are longer than usual. And the prefix mega, M-E-G-A, and megalo, M-E-G-A-L-O, can be used to describe things that are enlarged. And for things that are small, smaller than usual, we could use these two prefixes, micro, M-I-C-R-O, or nano, N-A-N-O. These two prefixes also have numeric meanings. And for things that are smaller than usual, doesn't have a numeric meaning, we could use this prefix, mini, M-I-N-I. And for things that are short, we could use these two prefixes, brachy, B-R-A-C-H-Y, or brevi, B-R-E-V-I. And for things, when we want to describe things that are related to its depth, we could use bathy, B-A-T-H-Y. And for things that are heavy, or we want to describe something that are heavy, we could use this bary, B-A-R-Y. And for things that are related to weight, we could use this prefix, baro, B-A-R-O. Now let's proceed to the last part of our course, and also the last part of lesson 25. We are going to talk about prefixes and suffixes that are related to pressure and other things. For pressure, we could use one of these four prefixes and the suffix. For prefix, we have baro, B-A-R-O, and piezo, P-I-E-Z-O, and presso, P-R-E-S-S-O, and also the suffix piesis, P-I-E-S-I-S. We've talked about baro before, so we are not going to give an example about it. And for piesis, because I can't find an example for it, so we are not going to give an example for it either. For the prefix piezo, our example is piezochemistry. Piezochemistry is the branch of chemistry that deals with the effect of pressure on chemical phenomena, especially for high pressure, because during high pressure, for example, water boils at higher temperature under high atmospheric pressure. So in that way, a lot of chemical reaction also perform differently. So that's a branch of chemistry called piezochemistry. And for the prefix presso, P-R-E-S-S-O, our example is pressometer. Pressometer, also called manometer, is an instrument in this picture shows a old-fashioned pulsometer. It is an instrument especially designed for measuring pressure during injection of radiopeg material into uterus, but it can also be used as just an ordinary pulsometer, like we show in this picture. Let's review what we just learned. For pressure, we could use one of these four prefixes and the suffix. For prefix, we could use baro, B-A-R-O, or piezo, P-I-E-Z-O, or presso, P-R-E-S-S-O, or we could use the suffix piesis, P-I-E-S-I-S. When we want to describe things that are high, we could use this prefix, hypsy, H-Y-P-S-I. Our example is hypsicephaly. Hypsicephaly, also called oxycephaly. Remember we learned before the suffix C-E-P-H-A-L. Actually, it's originated from a prefix C-E-P-H-A-L. It means head. And what does that mean of a high head? Actually, hypsicephaly, also called oxycephaly. And we learned the prefix oxy, O-X-Y before. It means oxygen or sharp. Hypsicephaly is a condition in which the top of the head is pointed, like in this drawing, or conical, owing to premature closure of the coronal suture and the lambdoid suture, which are shown here, both of the suture, coronal suture and the lambdoid suture. Because the premature closure of these two sutures, which make the person's head pointed or conical. And it can also be called acrocephaly, steeple head or skull, and the tower head or skull. For height, when we want to describe things that are related to height, we use this prefix hypso, H-Y-P-S-O. Our example is hypsochrome. Hypsochrome, meaning when an atom or a group of atoms introduced into a compound and made the absorption maximum of the compound shift to a shorter wavelength. For example, if this compound's maximum absorption peak is here, and after one certain atom or a group of certain atoms add to this compound, then the absorption maximum move to the left side of the wavelength, move to a shorter wavelength. Then this atom or this group of atoms is called a hypsochrome. And usually when we talk about that in chemistry, we usually say this phenomenon is a blue shift because the shorter wavelength is blue shift. And on the contrary, if the atom or a group of atoms introduced to a compound make it shift to the longer wavelength, then this atom or this group of atoms is called basochrome. When we want to describe things that are wide, we use this prefix eury, E-U-R-Y. And our example is Eurypelma. Eurypelma is a genus of large spiders. In this picture is a Eurypelma pallidum. And Well, I guess the reason why it's called Eurypelma because it has flat bodies, and Eurypelma hansi is the American tarantula. When we want to describe things that are broad, broad, flat, and wide, we could use Eury and also platy, Platy, which we learned before when we describe, when we are learning prefix and suffixes relating to shapes. And our example for platy is platoglossal. Platoglossal, remember the suffix glossal, Gloss, the suffix gloss meaning tongue. It's originated from Greek. And then the suffix al meaning act, process. Platyglossal. Platy means broad, flat and wide. So platyglossal actually meaning this person or this organism, this animal having a broad, flat tongue. Let's review what we just learned. For describing things that are flat and broad, flat and wide, we use these two prefixes, Eury, E-U-R-Y, and platy, P-L-A-T-Y. When we want to describe a phenomenon that related to stretch or tension, we use this prefix, tono, T-O-N-O. Our example for tono is tonofilament. Tonofilament is an intermediate filament composed of cytokeratin and occurred in the epithelium cell, particularly those of the epidermis. Tonofilament participate in the formation of desmosomes. In this picture, we show a desmosomes, and we can see the tonofilament here, although it's being labeled as keratin, because keratin and the tonofilament is often used synonymously. For tension, we also use tono, T-O-N-O. And when we want to describe things that are related to strength, we use these two prefixes, dynamo, D-Y-N-A-M-O, or S-T-H-E-N-O. Let's see our example. For dynamo, our example is dynamometer. Dynamometer is an instrument for measuring the force of muscular contraction. Like this is a grip dynamometer. It's used to measure the strength of your hand. You grip this thing and the dial here will show the strength of your grip. This is a grip dynamometer. And for STHENO, our example is stensometry. Stensometry is the measurement of bodily strength. As shown in this picture, this thing is called stenometer. In here, it has a needle and a dial, and this needle and dial is enclosed in a glass jar, and then your hands are outside, and you are supposed to use your spiritual power to move the needle. That shows your strength. It is not actually a medical device, but I can't find a better example for our course. And the way to measure this is called stenometry, and this is a stenometer. Let's review what we just learned. For strength, we could use one of these two prefixes, dynamo, dynamo, or steno, stheno. And on the contrary, for lack of strength or weakness, we could use this prefix, asteno, astheno. And our example is astenochoria. Astenochoria is the sluggishness of the pupillary reflex. When we shine light through our pupil will contract. But if the speed of contraction is too slow, it's called astenochoria, and it's usually seen in hypoadrenalism. Lower function, a deficit of function in our adrenal gland. When our adrenal gland is not functioning correctly, it's low. It's called hypoadrenalism. And the latter part of the word cor is from Greek. It means pupil. And the suffix ia, we've learned it before. Now we've finished the last part of our lesson. Let's review what we learned today. For pressure, we could use baro, B-A-R-O, or piezo, P-I-E-Z-O, or presso, P-R-E-S-S-O. These three are prefixes, and also the suffix piesis, P-I-E-S-I-S. For high, we could use this prefix hypsi, H-Y-P-S-I. For height, we could use this prefix hypso, H-Y-P-S-O. As for wide, we could use this prefix eury, E-U-R-Y. And for broad, B-R-O-A-D, for broad, we could use one of these two prefixes, eury, E-U-R-Y, or platy, P-L-A-T-Y. For stretch, we use tono, T-O-N-O. And the same prefix can be used to describe tension. For strength, we could use one of these two prefixes, dynamo, D-Y-N-A-M-O, or steno, S-T-H-E-N-O. And as for lack of strength or weakness, we could use asteno, A-S-T-H-E-N-O. Now we finish the last part of lesson 25th, and also we conclude our lesson in this section, and we will give you quiz for lesson 25th. Hope you have fun with me for the whole semester. Remember, we will have final coming. See ya! English for Biology Major is brought to you by TCU's English for Biology Major course team. If you have any questions, don't forget to visit our FB fans page. The website is here, and you can also scan the QR code to reach to our FB fans page. This course is sponsored by Centers for Faculty Development and Instructional Resources of TCU.